Hi guys, welcome to Attraction Realm. Thank you guys for tuning in. Now, there's something I would like us to look at today, and that is a simple exercise in creative visualization. I would want us to kind of like go through some of those things that would require you to begin to use creative visualization. So more like you are trying to start a game, you would need a little bit of exercise to get your body, soul, and spirit together, more like ushering you into the full game. So that's what the exercise in creative visualization is all about, more like helping you to be in tune and have an idea of how creative visualization does work in terms of the practicals involved. But before I go further to talk about the exercise in creative visualization, I was going through my YouTube 2 days or a day ago, and I came across one of my greatest mentors, Robert Greene, and he was saying something about skill and thoughts. Skill and thoughts. And I would want us to, it kind of like has this idea about how the brain is being rewired as a result of skills and thought. And I felt that it would be okay for me to juxtapose it with the exercise involved in creative visualization. They kind of like look very much, they kind of like sound very much alike when it comes to the teachings. He was being asked a particular question, but I was able to bring out a bit of what he was saying, where it got my attention. I was talking about skill and then thoughts. Let's look at what he has to say.
I didn't know why, but I would.
Let's start all over.
But a lot of times I was miserable. I didn't know why, but I was acquiring skills, not even aware of it. And so the reason I write that is when you develop that skill, when you're serious about it, because I was very serious about writing, you change your brain.
So what he's trying to say here was the fact that he was asked about the skill of writing. And what Robert Greene started to explain is how the face is involved in writing. That it requires you to have a particular skill. Not only that, but it requires you to be consistent and persistent about it. Just like the creative visualization, for example, it requires that you go through a particular exercise to give you a broader view of what creative visualization is, and also helps you to get in tune of how to really practicalize creative visualization. Creative visualization is a skill as well. It's a technique, but also a skill that can be harnessed out of that technique. More like you're doing something, and then after some time, it becomes part of you that you don't have to think about it anymore, right? So he was talking about the skill of writing, how he was able to get himself consistent about it, and then how the skill and the thought of writing started to rewire his brain. Let's listen.
You rewire your brain. It's like, and this is a remarkable power of the human brain that people don't realize. Something I'm also writing in my new book. This one writer, his name is Schwartz, I believe, he's a UCLA neuroscientist. He wanted to help people who had OCD, right? Obsessive compulsive disorder. And usually it's drugs and it's talking therapy. He wanted to find out something more effective. And he found that through certain strategies that he developed, that they could use in their life, that they would get over their disorder. And the point isn't what the strategies were, the point was he did brain scans. And through the strategies that he gave them to do, so that they change the brain. And his point was, through thinking, through developing skills.
Good. So you can hear that they develop their brain by rewiring it through skill and a thought process. And that's one thing about creative visualization, that, okay, that reminds me of one of the things Wallace said in his book. That book, we're going to be talking about it later on Attraction Realm. He said the creative power within man, the creative power makes us into the image of that to which we give our attention. We are thinking substance, and a thinking substance always picks the form of that which it thinks about. The creative power within us makes us into the image of that to which we give our attention. So more like something that you started to give your attention to, because that's what imagination is, and at the same time that's what creative visualization is, that you are able to be conscious of your thought processes. Not only conscious, but able to hold down a particular thought and hold it until it becomes your reality. Because we pick forms as we think. Okay? And then Wallace also said something about that a man's way of doing things is a direct result of the way he thinks about things. To do things in the way you want to do them, you have to acquire the ability to think the way you want to think. So that means that your acquiring ability of how to think must be something thoughtful, must be a process that you are aware of and conscious about. Okay, not like of course we have said it, that our thoughts are forms of energy, and not only that they are forms of energy, but that they are light forms of energy. That means they change rapidly, they change very quickly. So if they change very quickly, it becomes more like having a skill, a technique in creative visualization, that you are able to imagine something, not only imagine it, but having the ability to hold down what it is that you are thinking, and then to bring it to fusion, to bring it to reality. So that's what Robert Greene is talking about here, having the ability to pick up a skill, not only just pick up the skill, but with consistent and being persistent and being with determination, that skill can actually go a long way to rewire your brain. More like you're reconstructing your brain to fit into the mode at which you want it right now. So before, your brain is working, but more like it's in charge of you. But what he's saying is being able to control your brain through your thoughts pattern. Because now that you are in charge of your brain, you are able to now tell it what you want it to do, rather than the brain telling you what you should do. Okay, that with your thought pattern and with the skill that you are able to with time acquire as a result of persistency, as a result of being consistent about it, that you can rewire your brain. And that goes a long way to talk about how creative visualization, being a technique, but it's a skill that can also be harnessed. All right, is a skill that, and also so with consistent practice of creative visualization as an exercise, you begin to rewire your brain. You begin to take that brain into another mode entirely, that it suits whatever it is you want it to do, rather than you doing what the brain wants. Okay, more like you are shifting the goalpost or turning it now to help you do what exactly you want it to do for you.
You literally change matter, you change your brain. So something non-material like thoughts can literally change your material thing, like the wiring of your brain.
You see, what I'm saying now is that your thought, the material thing, can actually rewire your brain, the material thing. So that tells you that thoughts are powerful. You know, thoughts are powerful, but you can only harness your thoughts if you have the ability to control your thoughts. You understand? You have the ability. I've heard so many people on YouTube talking about that techniques don't matter. You know, just know just know what vibrations are or manifestation. And no, it doesn't work that way. You see, your thought is very powerful, that you have to tame it. You have to be in charge of it. If you're not careful, your thought begin to work against you as a result of the fact that you are not being conscious of the use of your thoughts. But for you to be conscious of the use of your thought, it requires a practice, and it's also a skill that can be harnessed as a result of creative visualization. So creative visualization will help you to tame your thoughts. Creative visualization will help you, more like you discipline yourself to have a particular image within you and not let any other thing begin to distract you. But that image that you are looking at, you are concentrating on that image until that image becomes your reality. You can see that, right? So that's what Shaktigaon is trying to tell us here in this simple exercise in creative visualization. So I just saw this when Robert Greene was talking about how he harnessed his skills, and not only harnessing the skill, but how he saw that by just being skillful in writing over and over again, the thing started to change his thought pattern, and then as a result rewired his brain. Okay,
you learn skills, you're changing your brain, you're changing the matter of your brain. Things are connected, we're connected.
Exactly.
And slowly, if you do it, if you're serious enough, a point will be reached like it's reached in mine.
Did you hear that? If you're serious enough. So that requires dedication. When I started to use creative visualization, of course, because it was something that I wasn't used to, but by the time I started to read Shaktigaon's book about creative visualization and I started to practicalize it, by first going through the simple exercises, and it was a little bit hard for me at some point. But then with practice, with consistency, determination, that's where the hard work is. That's where the hard work is. Thought is powerful. So, and don't forget, I told you that Wallace Wattle said that the creative power within us makes us into the image of that to which we give our attention. That we are thinking substances, and thinking substance always speaks the form of that which it thinks about. So, but for you to be able to harness your thought, not only harnessing it, but being able to hold down your thought, you are in control of the thought. If you are able to do that, Wallace Wattle said you have become a mastermind, and with that you can have whatever it is that you want. So it's not an easy route or an easy thing to do, but I tell you, if you are consistent and serious about it, you can actually harness the power of your thoughts. You can actually, because your thoughts, starting from an immaterial thing, then being taken down to the material thing, your brain more like an electrical charge, and then it begins to move through with your thought. It moves through your heart, that's energy in motion, and then starts to vibrate at a particular rate of speed. But you have to first and foremost have the ability to curtail, to hold down your thoughts, all right, to tame the thought and tell it what exactly you want it to think about.
Life, where either you will start a business, or someone will ask you to do something like write a book or make a film, and the world will open up for you, and you'll be able to do it because you have that. You've laid the soil, everything is there, it's rich, and now something great, amazing.
So you see what he's talking about here, that once you are able to harness the power of your thoughts, and those skills within you starts to manifest, what happens? You start to attract. It's amazing. So circumstances, events, and things starts to walk in line based on your thought pattern. That's what I'm saying. Then doors, you start to see doors opening for you. You start to see, and you're wondering why it's all this. It's as a result of you being able to give your mind what to think about. You're holding it down. This is what I want, and then you start to think about it, and before you know, your thought begin to move out into the universe, and then starts to attract everything needed to bring about the materialization of that thing that you're thinking about.
People sprout out of it. When you have no talents, you have no skill. Life is a series of.
So you see what I'm saying here? You have no skill, so life becomes more like turbulence. Like because you don't have the skill. So you don't have, and you've not given your brain what to think about. You've not given your brain what you want it to do. So your brain is just thinking based on senses. That means that you're just meandering over life. You're not focused. But with focus and intensity, by using creative visualization and being able to hold your thoughts, you can actually become wherever you want to become.
Endless confusion. You hit this road, you go here, then something else, you go here, then you go here. You end up in a circle, you don't know where the hell you are. When you've got skills to do, you zoom.
Exactly, with skills.
It's not zoom, it's more like put your head in.
So you can see that creative visualization as a technique can be harnessed as a skill, because with creative visualization you are focused about what it is that you want, and you are imaging the things that you want to bring about. Did you see that?
Yeah, so for a big film.
So now what we're going to look at is the simple exercise involved in creative visualization. Simple exercise involved in creative visualization. First, think of something you would like for this exercise. Choose something simple that you can easily imagine attaining. It might be an object you would like to have, an event which you would like to happen, a situation in which you would like to find yourself, or some circumstance in your life which you would like to improve. You see that? So get into a comfortable position, either sitting or lying. Of course, great inventors and creators, writers have always used this skill more intentionally and powerfully. Just sit down in a place. Most times when I'm doing my own creative visualization, I either sit down or lie on my bed, and then I put up the lights and I start to imagine the things that I want so vividly. So she's saying that get in a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down in a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Relax your body completely, starting from your toes and moving up to your scalp. Think of relaxing each muscle in your body in turn, letting all tension flow out, okay, of your body. Then breathe deeply and slowly from your belly. Count down slowly from 10 to 1. She just actually give you an idea of an exercise for creative visualization. But for me, I just think that creative visualization is something that once you start to do, you begin to find. It's just like you're meandering in a river trying to find your course, right? Once you start to use creative visualization, you begin to now harness the one that you feel works better for you. It could be lying down, it could be sitting down, it could be counting count down from 10 to 1, or whatever it is that feels right. Just get into a very relaxed position and then start to imagine things. So she went further and said, when you feel deeply relaxed, start to imagine the thing you want exactly as you would like it. If it is an object, imagine yourself with the object, using it, admiring it, enjoying it, showing it to friends. It is a situation, or if it is a situation or event, imagine yourself there and everything happening just as you want it to. You may imagine what people are saying or any details that make it more real to you. All right. And then she later talked about that that now keeping the ideal image still in your mind, mentally make some very positive affirmative statements to yourself, aloud or silently as you prefer. So it's also another thing we'll be talking about on this channel, creative affirmation. So once you are in your creative visualization mode, imagining things, then you start to affirm things. Okay, that for me, I remember those days I would say I'm beautiful, I'm lovable, I'm kind, and loving. I have a great deal to share with others. I'm talented, creative, I'm attractive. Divine love and light are working through me now. Divine love goes before me and prepares the way. God is showing me the way now. My inner wisdom is guiding me now. I am now being guided to the perfect solution to this problem. The light within me is creating miracles in my body, mind, and affairs here and now. So anytime I'm imagining things, I start to affirm things. We're going to be looking at affirmations also in this series. Very powerful way of actually attracting things into your life. And it's a skill also that you need to harness. All right, so this leaves room for something different and even better than you had originally envisioned to happen, and serves as a reminder to you that this process only functions for the mutual benefit of all. Now, do this process only as long as you find it enjoyable and interesting. It could be 5 minutes or half an hour. Repeat every day or as often as you can. As you see, the basic process is relatively simple. Well, it's not simple as you think, because the ability to be able to actually hold your thoughts in hard times, in trying times, can be a powerful skill to harness, honestly. But you practicing it, and because you're practicing, it's like you're learning how to drive a car, or learning how to play basketball, or learning how to ride a bicycle. It's not going to be an easy route or an easy thing to do at the beginning, but as you consistently and persistently use that exercise, that's creative visualization, you begin to grow in that skill, and hopefully you begin to use it freely. It gets to the point that you are now conscious. Everywhere you go, you're conscious of your thought. You're conscious of the things that are going on in your mind, right? That's the beauty of creative visualization, if you can really harness it. So for me, people talking about creative visualization or technique is not important. Just know, manifest. No. You being able to use your mind actually and to tame your mind is a technique that must be learned. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye. Love you guys.